This is a quick demonstration of how to use the HeroQuest 3D files to make your own HeroQuest panels, walls, and 3D Quest HeroQuest 3D board game. So first I'm going to start out. I have all the rough templates for everything. They're parameterized in Fusion 360. These are the files that I'll be posting up, and I'll show you how to use these right here. So I'm going to go ahead and open the basic panel, and what I'm going to do initially here is I'm going to I'll just make this a 3 by 4. So you can see, don't change any other values in here because it will break the model. So this gives you your basic 3 by 4 panel. You can see the notches cut out here. These are the interlock notches, and these are the wall insertion notches. I may do another version of this where the wall insertion notches are actually just distributed out through the whole thing, so you can put walls wherever you want, and then you can just print up large segments of a panel instead of individual rooms. The way I did it was by individual rooms. It kind of helped me paint them and just helped me kind of process putting it all together. But in retrospect, probably having walls to make it so you can put walls anywhere would have been useful. Okay, so right here I did a quick couple quick cuts. I'm using the 3D print export in order to get the STL out faster, because otherwise the Fusion has to call out to the server, which is dumb. And I had a couple mistakes when I was doing my export. I accidentally didn't select the object. I ended up selecting just subcomponents. So I did a rerun, and here I am exporting it as an STL, a sample panel, and I will be opening it up elsewhere here shortly. Oh, in Blender. Okay, we're going to import the sample panel. There it is. So you can see got all the geometry on there, and what these scripts do is actually add the texture to these geometries. I can never remember how to shift view in here. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So I can't remember. This is a 3 by 4. I'm just gonna make sure I get this right. 3 by 4. So all I have to do in here is change these two variables right here: number spaces wide, number spaces deep. And then just hit run script. And it'll take a little while because it's generating a bunch of texture data. And there we go. So now it's programming procedurally generated textures for all the panels on that wall. So at this point, all we have to do is export the file as an STL. We're going to export it to the same folder it came from. Okay, so now I'm going to go into my 3D print program here in a second. And from here, all I have to do is drop this into my 3D print program, sample panel textured, boom, bada, bing, boom. Takes a little bit longer because these are textured. And then I will often, for these guys, since I'm trying to get these details in there, I'll set these layer heights, and this is as low as they can go, which I think is like something like that, or whatever. I just set it to whatever the minimum amount the printer can handle is. And slice the plate. This will always take a little while because there's a lot of detail in these models. Okay, and there's my file. And then I would export this out to my printer. So that's how you do one wall panel or one floor panel. Okay, so I'm going to step through the rest of these here real quick. So we'll do the corner wall. Same basic process. We're going to export this bad boy using 3D print. Select the whole thing. Hit OK. Export to there. Come to Blender. We can clear this guy. And then we're going to import the corner wall sample. Import STL. Then we go over here, select the corner wall texturing. Corner walls should always be the same. So you shouldn't really have to change anything. Number of spaces 5. I think that's right. Well, we'll run it and see what happens. Looks like there's 5. This one will take a real long time. So this one's actually using the the procedural, or the wall factory plugin. And if you don't have that, you need to go look up how to install that plugin in your Blender in order to use it. But it's pretty simple. And yeah, as you can see, it procedurally generated walls for the entire corner there, and textured the floor panels. And at this point, you would export this the same way I did with the floor panel and print it. So now we're going to look at what other one? Corridors are essentially just floor panels, so we don't really need to do those. Edge walls are just like corner walls. The only other one that's I guess a regular wall is worth doing. The panel special, there's one room in HeroQuest where there's one of the rooms is missing a corner in order to conform to the rest of the rooms. That's what HeroQuest 3D panel special is. You only need to print one of those. So we'll just do... And a short wall is, in order to make these walls so that they can form coherent or complete squares and form corners and stuff like that, you'll notice that one side of the wall will always be a little bit shorter, and that gives this cut right here, this extra segment of this extra space on the wall right here versus over here, is actually how the corners are filled in. A short wall is if you're placing walls and you get to a place where you need to put a filler in there, like you accidentally used 2 long walls, or 2 of the long wall corners are pointed the same direction, you can cut one short and then drop in a short wall, and that will take care of the extra space needed. There might have been a better way to do that, but this works out. I mean, you just have to think about it a little bit when you're placing your walls. At some point, I'm going to try and make a revised quest book that shows which walls go where and how long they need to be. But if you just print enough of these out, you'll always have one that you can drop in place. Anyways, so we're going to go ahead and modify this. No, not manage materials. So similar as before. This is going to be, we'll make this like a 3-space wall. So you change that. You see it changes the length of the wall. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. Select the wall. Okay. Wall sample. Well, sometimes I'll write which one it is so I can keep track. Okay. So that's saved where that's going to go. Okay. And then we'll go in here. Go ahead and clear this out of here. And then we're going to import STL, wall sample 3. Then we're going to shift over to the wall texturing. And this is going to be a 3 number of spaces. There we go. And this one runs a little bit faster, I think, because it's just the wall factory. Yeah. So there we go. Generates the wall panel, and we would export that and 3D print it just like everything else. So that's been it as far as how to export and print all these things. Feel free to post in the comments section any questions you might have, and I'll try and address them. And yeah, happy gaming.